What up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I seen one of my favorite reactors reacted to this yesterday, and I'd never even seen it, so I definitely was inspired to react to it as well. Huge fan of Mac Miller. The dude that reacted to it is Bearded Reactions. He's super dope. I'm going to put his link in the description if you guys want to go check that out. He does all kinds of reactions, some of the same stuff that I do, and some other stuff, so I definitely recommend checking him out. He's dope. But yeah, let's react to this. If you haven't been here before, please subscribe. Please let me know some recommendations. I'm smaller, so I'm able to knock out a lot of the recommendations you guys throw my way. But let's get it.
I got a text from a friend of mine, and then I immediately got a call from the photo editor. It was literally a day before he posted my photograph on his Instagram. It was like the last post he put. I was really at a loss for words. I didn't know what to do. It was really like haunting.
I was at a music festival when he passed, and it just sunk the mood of everyone. Everyone felt it. It was the last day of the festival, and everyone was just crushed. Mac was the first concert I ever went to, and it was one of the best ones, and I went to over 40 of them last year alone.
My name is Kriston Felber. I'm a photographer. I started getting interested in photography probably around 13 or 14, something like that. I think it gives you an excuse to be curious and to sort of get involved in certain worlds that you wouldn't ordinarily.
Side note, I'm getting ready to buy that camera that he was just using. If it was a 80D or something like that, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know anything about cameras. I'm learning as I go, but pretty sure that's an 80D, and I'm getting ready to buy that.
Have access to. The thing that I love about it is that you get to meet amazing people, and you get to be involved in these worlds that you wouldn't ordinarily get to see in your everyday life. Well, I had shot for Vulture a couple of years ago. I photographed Joey Badass, Summer Jam, and basically hung out with him for most of the day. And so I think that the photo editor probably just drew a correlation between Joey Badass and Mac Miller and his music. And so I wound up going out there to Bowery Hotel, pouring rain. It was a big thunderstorm. I got soaking wet. The publicist told me to go to the back of the Bowery Hotel to meet them. So I showed up and went to the back, and he was just there with the writer hanging out, and I just went over and we just started talking, and I kind of got involved in the discussion. We started talking about like the music industry and all that. He had to do like more interview stuff, so him and the writer went up to his room. I just kind of waited around for them to be done, and then finally they're like, all right, let's do some photos. So I went up to his room. They were still kind of finishing up the interview, so I shot them interacting because I knew that the photo editor wanted that. And then we started getting into portraits. And I really like the window light. I usually shoot natural light anyway, so like, can you just sit here and just start taking.
Whew, this is it's got to be a crazy feeling to be know that you have the last photo of someone ever. Like, I wonder if it means like if he ever posted anything on his IG afterwards, or if there was any paparazzi photo, or if that's just it. Like, I wonder if this is definitely the last photo, and that's got to be like an eerie feeling.
Portraits like that. And they came up with the idea of maybe doing more on-camera flash stuff, and he started getting into that, kind of coming up with his own ideas, and he put like a lampshade on his head, and he came up with the idea of riding that bull that he posted on his Instagram. It was like a leather bull that comes in all of the rooms there at the Bowery Hotel. And it was funny, it was hilarious, so it worked out. And I was like really surprised how game he was to just do kind of whatever. Continued to do portraits. And it was tricky because my lens was broken at the time, so the autofocus wasn't working and it was shooting really shallow. So I wanted to make sure I was getting it in focus. So that shot that we did like that actually took like, I shot it first, then we started shooting other things. Then I called him back because I was like, I don't know how in focus, because I really wanted his eye to just be like tack sharp. And because he's kind of like.
Definitely not the camera that I was talking about. Probably a way better camera, to be honest. That one is. Just a guess.
Very self-conscious, like kind of like shy and even though he's goofy and kind of out there, but he has a sort of a underlying shyness, and even though he comes off as confident a lot, like I think a lot of what was going on with him in the press, I think kind of made him like reassess his relationship with like all that publicity and all this like gossip and all this nonsense. So I think for me that pose was like super fitting. I was like, that's perfect. Like that's the shot, because it just seemed to fit in with the narrative. And so that's why I was like, I need to make sure I get the shot. Like I can't screw this one up, because I felt like, again, one was like already a little out of focus. I'm like, I need to make sure I like got it. So I gave him the photos as well as a couple of the outtakes that weren't published.
What do you say about the photo?
Well, because I was asking him like which he preferred, and I was like, well, what about the hand over the face? He's like, no, I love that. And I showed him the back of the camera, and he's like, yo, it's fire. And I was like, all right, cool.
Some sad news from the music world. The rapper Mac Miller is
super cool that this dude got to experience this moment with him before he passed. I mean, as far as all the stuff he's talking about, photography, I have no clue about any of that. Like, I don't even know how to take selfies properly.
dead at the age of just 26. The Pittsburgh native's real name was Malcolm McCormick. He's known for songs including Self-Care, Loud, and Smile Back.
The fact that it was like my portrait was like the last photograph that was ever taken of him, and it's weird. I mean, photography is a strange thing that way. Like, part of the beauty of a photograph is that it freezes a moment in time. And it's just funny because I was thinking back to what I was thinking then, taking that portrait. It's just this still moment of him, covering his face. But in my mind, I was thinking, I was like, oh, this looks great. But at the same time, I was like, my lens was broken. I'm like, I hope this is in focus. Like, that was like what I was thinking. I was like, I really hope, like, you're not thinking on that level. You're just like going through the motions, and it's weird. It's strange when an image becomes so prominent and like exalted, and it almost like transcends the medium. And I've never had that happen to me with a photograph. This is the first time this ever happened. And it was weird seeing it in real time. Like immediately after I took, it was posted, this happened. So it wasn't like, a photograph that I took 5 years ago and then he died. It was like immediate, and it was so bizarre. Like just watching the whole social media frenzy and just media frenzy, getting calls. Like,
just a sad time. Just absolutely. Like, I literally was crushed whenever I heard this news. Yeah, but I like how they're putting his music in the background, just his background noise. It's super cool. It's setting a nice mood.
All over the place, and my syndication agent was like, Apple's reaching out, they want to use it. But then at the same time, it's showing up online everywhere, showing up on, was it G-Eazy, projected it behind him. Like, my sister texted me, she's like, hey, look at this. Like, I got 5,000 followers, and it literally doubled in a matter of days. And you realize how many people, lives he's touched, which was really kind of extraordinary. Like, people sending me photos of tattoos that they're getting of my photograph. And you're like, that's crazy. He was funny.
That has to be nuts for someone to get a tattoo of a picture that you took. Dude, I don't know. I'm just getting kind of sad watching this, to be honest. I don't know.
He was hilarious, super goofy, super warm, super open, really friendly. And you can just tell that he just has a very endearing quality to him. like it's hard to say no, you know, like when you're hanging out with him, like you just want to be around him. I was like, I admire that you don't give a fuck about most things, because he just didn't. He just didn't give a fuck. And then he was like, no, but I do give a fuck about my music. Like that's the thing.
If it ain't about a dream, then it ain't about me. Go a couple full weeks without a good night's sleep. Imagination, making musical.
Dude, I just like how they're just putting like the best day ever here. I like how they're implementing music into it, and I like how they were sure to emphasize that he really cared about his music, because that's what everyone said about him. And I mean, you could tell just from listening to his music, like he wasn't just one-dimensional. He evolved so much as an artist, and I'm glad that his music is still living on.
Creation, the journey that I'm facing, plus the paper that I'm chasing, got me crazy after saying with the lames. I see you hating, but there's nothing that you're changing. Thumbs up, I'm maintaining, no complaining when it's raining. I'll be in another zone, move out my mother's home to a world to call my own. I ain't gonna play around no more. Find a difference from the ground and the floor. If we gotta fight, I'll be down for the war. Thumbs up, homie, I'll be sure. No matter where life takes me, find me with a smile. Pursuit to be happy, don't be laughing like a child. I never thought life would be this sweet. It got me cheesing from cheek to cheek, ay, ay. And I ain't gonna wait for nothing, cause that just ain't my style. Life couldn't get better, this gon' be the best day ever.
Pause it there, so it ends with that as the screen. Yeah, I'm super glad I watched that, because I don't even remember seeing that photo, to be honest, but I don't really pay attention to like Instagram posts or articles or anything, so yeah, so I think that was probably the first time I ever seen that photo, and that's pretty cool to see the final photo that someone took, and it's really cool to see that guy's perspective of being the person that took the photo. Thanks, guys.